Taya, are you ready to see the snake?
Wow.
Taya, are you ready, Taya? The snake is in the box.
Alright, I think that's everybody. Hi everyone, welcome to Moonlit. Thanks for being in sort of group 2. We're in for a bit of a treat because I warmed up Ziggy before, so now he's all excited and happy to go. So we could be in for a challenge. My name is Ollie. I've got 2 scaly friends for us to meet. One with 4 legs and one with no legs. But we'll start with 4 legs first because that's where most people are comfortable to sort of start off. Oh, I know, I'm doing it to you again. He's pretty cool, isn't he? So, first up today is
It's a lizard.
Hunter is a bearded dragon. Now,
It's a dragon.
Bearded dragons because he's got that awesome chin. You're going to show them your beard? And one thing you might notice if you compare photos to like right now and before I put him away, you might notice that his chin will change color while we sit and talk. So that's because their beard sort of changes with their mood. It's like a mood ring. So at the moment it's pretty dark. He's not very happy with me. Not only did I pull him out of his warm bedroom, I've brought him out here not once but twice. So he's sort of finding his feet. He's a little bit cold. He's never met you guys before, so he's a bit nervous. Just sort of figuring out what's going on. But as he warms up on my hand, gets a bit more comfortable, you might see his colour starts to lighten and go closer to sort of an orange or a yellow.
Yeah.
The reason they do this as well is it's to help attract mates and defend them. So if he's got a girlfriend and another boy comes along and tries to steal her, he can make his beard go nice and black and he looks big and tough and he can scare them away. So it's a pretty cool way to go about things. Now, we don't actually know how old Hunter is, and that's because you can't tell how old they are based on how big they are, and that's true with all reptiles. So reptiles grow depending on how much food you give them and how much space they have, rather than how old they are. So if you get a baby reptile and you feed it lots and lots and lots of food really quickly, it will grow much quicker than if you feed one at a sort of slower pace. Now, a really common question we get is how do you tell the difference between a snake and a lizard?
Yeah,
Which
look at the
most
lizard.
people think it's the legs, right?
Yeah.
But you can actually get legless lizards.
Legless
So the 2 ways
lizard.
to tell.
Yeah.
One is the eyes. You might see Hunter blink while he's up here. Lizards have eyelids, but snakes don't. So if you get into a staring contest with a snake, you're going to lose 100%. And the other way to tell, and I'll bring him around so you can get a bit of a closer look, is he has like a little pink dot
what's wrong?
right here, and that is actually his ear. So lizards have visible ears, whereas snakes have scales that actually cover their ears, so you can't see.
Stay up here, Jack.
And I like telling that fact because if you look really closely at the basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets, it's a legless
There,
lizard.
the snake there.
Now, one thing you also might notice while I bring him around is he has some pretty big, scary looking
Look,
spikes
watch it.
all on his head and along the side of his body. The good news is those are completely fake. They feel exactly like a toy bearded dragon would. They're practically rubber. The reason he's got these is because some lizards do have very big, tough spikes, and he's just copying them to try and look big and scary. So if something comes along to try and eat him, they see how spiky he looks and thinks, no, that doesn't look like good food, I'm gonna leave that. So it's a pretty good defense mechanism for him. Now, these guys are what we call omnivores, so they eat meat and veggies. He gets a salad made up of sweet potato, carrot, apple, broccoli, and corn, and apple, I think I said. But that sounds pretty nice to me. It looks pretty good when you make it. And then he also eats bugs for his meat. So he eats mealworms, witchetty grubs, sometimes snails, and crickets are another favourite of his.
There's people outside.
So they're pretty handy to have around your
Yeah,
home.
the
They
snake
eat
is in the
all the
box.
bugs you could possibly catch.
We wait for the snake. It's
But
coming.
I'm going to put him away, and I'm going to bring out our next friend, who's a little bit bigger.
Whoa.
There you go,
The
buddy.
snake.
All right. We'll start with the most important fact. He is a python, and all pythons are non-venomous. So we're all good in that department. Round 2, yeah. You coming out?
What's that?
See the snake tail?
All right, come on,
It's
buddy.
coming. Look. Ooh.
So this gorgeous snake that I have here,
See the
this
snake?
is Ziggy.
Yeah.
Ziggy is a coastal carpet python. Now in Australia, we're not very creative when we name our animals. He is a coastal carpet python because he is a carpet python that lives on the coast. So these guys specifically live on the coast of Queensland and northern New South Wales, where it is much, much warmer than Victoria. In Victoria, we actually only have one native species of python, and that lives up in the Murray-Darling, where it's again a lot warmer for them. Down in this area, it's definitely going to be venomous if you see a wild snake. Now, he's non-venomous, which means he's a constrictor, and as you can see,
Yeah.
he's gone around my neck.
Thank you.
The good news for me is he's not trying to eat me, and my voice is only sore because I've already talked for like 20 minutes. The good news is Ziggy and coastal carpet
Just make
pythons
that.
really love to climb, but obviously he doesn't have any hands to grab onto branches, so he uses his body and his tail to wrap around and hold on instead. It's his way of making sure he's not going to fall off. It is the snake equivalent of holding hands, so it's actually pretty cute when you think about it. He's just coming in for a cuddle and a kiss. Now, Ziggy, we do know how old he is. He's about 10 years old. We know how old
Where
he
you
is
going?
because he actually used to be somebody's pet.
Get
He
a-
was donated
Get
to
a
us.
snake is coming. You watch a snake.
We get a lot of our snakes as donations simply because people don't feel they can look after them as well as they want to, and so they donate them here because they know they're going to live a good life, they're going to get played with lots, and they're going to help educate people about how snakes really are rather than the big scary things that we see in movies. Now, I think the two most common questions I get are, is he going to bite me and is he going to eat me? The answers are no. So I know Ziggy's not going to bite me because I know that Ziggy associates coming out here and playing and meeting all you guys with happy things. So as long as we don't do things that are going to make him uncomfortable, there's no reason he's going to turn and bite.
Yeah.
So we know that they don't like getting squeezed, which I think is very fair. And they also don't have very good eyesight. So they don't really like it when people come and pat them on the face.
What?
So if people were to start doing that, he might start getting a little bit uncomfortable, and biting is just his way of letting
Look at
us know,
snake.
I'm not having fun, I really want to go home. Luckily, we do get to know our snakes very well. They all have their own personalities. So we
See
do
the
kind
snake?
of figure out what they
Snake,
do
you
when
wanna
they're
touch a
starting
snake?
to get away.
No.
So with Ziggy, he's a bit of a talker. He'll
It's
hit
big.
every now and then. It's just him saying hello. But if he's getting really uncomfortable, he starts to hiss a lot. And that's our way of going, okay, Ziggy's not enjoying it. I'll put him away and I'll bring out someone who's going to watch.
Kelly wants to touch a
And
snake.
most people are definitely happy with a happy
No.
snake rather than a grumpy one. Can you stop acting like a staff? It's making it very hard for me to talk to people. Thank you. Now the other question, is he going to eat me? The answer is no, and that's a very good reason for it. I'm way too big for him to eat. And the extra good news is even some of you smaller ones in the audience are also way too big for him to eat. The only things he can eat are things that will fit inside the thickest part of his body. And even though he's a little bit chunky, he's only about this thick, which means he'd probably be able to eat our foot and then be very full. So if he's not eating little kids, what does he eat? He eats rats for dinner. And he gets 2 nice big juicy rats once every 4 weeks, which makes it sound like we are doing a very bad job of looking after our snakes, but they just don't need to eat as often as other animals. Now, the rats that we get here at Moonlit arrive to us already put to sleep and frozen, so we're not feeding them live rats, but we do want it to be nice and exciting for him. So what we do is we put them in some warm water so he gets hot dinner, put them on some very long tongs and just sort of wiggle
Yeah.
it about in his house.
Watch a snake
So
tail.
that
Look.
means when he gets the rat, it's warm, it's fluffy, it's moving.
Look at the
its legs,
snake.
it's alive. So he's still going to do all the things a wild python would, including biting it, wrapping himself around and
Stay
squeezing. And once he thinks that it's dead, he will turn around and he will eat it.
Wanna
whole.
touch a snake?
No, it's the mom.
Eats it, and you can see a nice big rat-shaped lump moving down towards its tummy, which is somewhere up behind.
Mommy.
You can have one.
If you guys
You want
wanted
milk?
to come up and get maybe a little bit of a closer photo with me, you're most welcome to. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day here at Moonlit, and I hope you.
Zach, do you want to
have
take a
good day.
picture with snake?
You want to take a picture?
No worries.
Yeah.
Pretty photogenic. He will like come and look straight at the camera.
Do you want to touch it?
No, you're not allowed to touch it.
I'm not allowed.
Alright, let's go then.
Let's go. Huh? What?
Also, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to head on out, go grab some lunch.
Let's go.
Yeah, unless you want to take a photo of it.
No, I'm ready to have a video. Do you want to take a photo with you?
No.
No? Let's go. Say bye-bye to snakes.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
No worries. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye, snake.